everyone, so today I'm going to show you how to make this crochet t-shirt yarn bag. It's honestly super easy and it's perfect for beginners. So without further ado, I'm going to tell you guys the materials you need to make this bag. To make this bag, I'll be using t-shirt yarn. This t-shirt yarn is from the brand Hooked. I bought it directly from their website, but I saw they sell it on Amazon too, or you can always buy another brand of t-shirt yarn. I'm going to be using a 10mm hook. This one is from the brand Prim, and you'll also need some stitch markers. I think I'm only going to use 2. You're going to need also a pair of scissors, and that's pretty much it. So to make this bag, I use 2 strands of yarn. So the first thing we're going to do is a slip knot. So take your 2 strands and roll them on your 2 fingers just like this, making an X shape. Next thing you want to do is take your hook and pass it underneath here and grab the yarn over here. Turn your fingers and take them off and pull. And then you can pull again a little bit to adjust it to your hook. Now we're going to start chaining. I'm going to chain 13, but you can really customize this number to your liking. You can really chain more or less. It's really up to you. So I'm going to chain 13. So to chain, you have to yarn over your hook and pull through. So this is 1 chain. The loops on your hook does not count as a chain. Yarn over, pull through. This is 2 chains. Yarn over, pull through. This is 3 chains. Yarn over, pull through. This is 4. So on and so forth until you have 13 chains or your desired amount of chains. So here I have 13 chains. The next thing you want to do is take your stitch marker and place it on the 2nd chain from the hook. So as I said before, the loop on your hook does not count as a chain. So this is the 1st chain and this is the 2nd one. Put a stitch marker on the front loop, just like this. Now to start round 1, we're going to skip the 1st chain and start crocheting in the 2nd chain from the hook. So we're going to put a single crochet in the 2nd chain from the hook right here. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. This is your first single crochet. You're going to want to put a stitch marker on this first stitch to know that this is the first stitch of the round. This is going to avoid you making mistakes like putting on extra stitches. So we're going to continue making single crochets in every chain. So this was 1. Now we're going to go to the next chain. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're done with our 2nd single crochet. Go to the next, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. We have 3 single crochets. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Next chain. This is 5. 6. 7. 8. 9, 10, 11. So we've completed 11 single crochets and we have 1 chain left here at the end. On this last chain we're going to increase. We're going to put 2 single crochets in the same chain. And when we're done doing that, we're gonna go back here and crochet in these little loops. So put 2 single crochets in the last chain. So this is 1. And go ahead and insert your hook in the same chain and make a 2nd single crochet in there. Now there's like a big hole here, so you can just pull on these two little tails to adjust it. So as I said, we're gonna go around and crochet in here so we can turn our work a little bit. So here on this hole, as you can see, this is the last chain we've worked on. We're gonna move over to this chain over here. So we're going to make a single crochet in this little chain. So insert your hook there. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to adjust this again. We're gonna go to the next loop here, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to make single crochets until we reach this stitch marker over here. So next little loop. So here I have reached my stitch marker, and this means this is going to be the last stitch of the round. So take off the stitch marker and make a last single crochet in there. Like this, and put back the stitch marker on the last stitch you've just done. Just like this. So here, if you look closely, the stitches on this side and on the other side look different. This is going to be the inside of the bag, and then this is going to be the outside of your bag. And just so you know, if you go ahead and count all of your stitches from your first stitch marker over here, the first stitch of the round, and the last stitch of the round, which is where we've just put our stitch marker, you should have a total of 24 single crochets. Now to end off round 1, we're going to slip stitch in our first stitch, which is where this stitch marker is. We're going to take it off, insert our hook in there through both loops, yarn over and pull through all the loops on our hook. So pull through and pull through. So this is the end of round 1. Now to start round 2, we have to chain 1. So yarn over and pull through like this. And from now on, it's pretty easy. We're basically just going to make 24 single crochets in each round, and we're going to make 7 rounds. So we've already made 1, we have 6 left. So now we're just basically going to make single crochets in every stitch. So the first stitch of the round is where we just made our slip stitch in. So we're just going to insert our hook again in our first stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So here's our first stitch of the round. We're going to put a stitch marker there to know that this is the first stitch of the round, like this. And we're going to continue by just making single crochets in every stitch. Insert your hook like this through both loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, next stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Next stitch, so we're just going to do that all around until we reach our stitch marker on the other end. Alright, so I have 3 stitches left until I reach my stitch marker. And here I have 1 stitch left, so I'm going to take off the stitch marker and make a last single crochet. And I'm going to put back my stitch marker on the last stitch to know that this is the last stitch of the round. So this is what your work should look like after 2 rounds. So now we're going to slip stitch in our first stitch, and that's why it's important to put stitch markers, because when I was a beginner, at least, I would always make mistakes and crochet in the slip stitch or in the chain 1 space, and that would throw off the stitch count. So that's why it's important to put some stitch markers, at least when you're a beginner. So take off the stitch marker from your first stitch and insert your hook in the first stitch. Yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. This can be a little hard on the hands sometimes. So now we're done with round 2. To start round 3, we're going to chain 1. Oop. And we're going to repeat the same thing as round 2. So we're basically just going to make single crochets in every stitch, and remember, you should have always a total of 24 single crochets. So again, to start round 3, we're going to insert our hook in the same stitch we've just slip stitched in. So it's this one over here, in here. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So because this is the first stitch of the round, put a stitch marker there. And continue by making single crochets in every stitch. Alright, so I'll continue this and I'll see you guys when I reach my stitch marker on here, and I'll show you one last time how to end off the round and start a new one. Alright, so I have one last stitch to make before I'm done with round 3. So I just took off the stitch marker from the last stitch, and I'll make my last single crochet of the round. And I'm going to put back the stitch marker on my last stitch over here. Now to finish off round 3, we're going to slip stitch in our first stitch, which is where the stitch marker is. Take off the stitch marker, insert your hook in the first stitch, yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. So now we're done with round 3. To start round 4, you chain 1 and you make a single crochet in the first stitch of the round, which is right here, in the same stitch we've slip stitched in, and make our first single crochet in there. And we have to put back our stitch marker to know that this is the first stitch of the round. So we have completed 3 rounds. We have to make 4 more to have a total of 7 rounds. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. You can go ahead and do that too. So when that's done, I'm going to show you how to close off the last round and how to make the bag strap. Alright, so here I'm almost done completing my 7 rounds. I have one last stitch to make. So here I've done my last single crochet, and now what we're going to do is that we're going to pull some yarn around this much, maybe 15 centimeters, and then cut the yarn. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our hook and insert it in our first stitch of the round, which is where the stitch marker is, but from the inside of the bag. So insert your hook like this and pass the yarn to the other side of the bag like this. Like this. Pull on it. And then the next step is to pass your hook through the back loop of your last stitch. So this is the last stitch of the round. We're going to put our hook through the back loop only. Take this tail of yarn and pass it through like this. And what it does is that it creates a fake stitch here. Like this. And so now if you lay your work flat like this and you look at it from above, you should have a stitch that's completely in the middle like this, and same thing on the other side. This is the little fake stitch we've just made. If you want, you can come and place a stitch marker on each side. So in the stitch in the middle, I'm gonna take off the stitch marker from here and place it in the little fake stitch we just created that's right in the middle like this. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go to this side, and I'm going to take off already the stitch marker and insert my hook in that stitch. What you're gonna want to do is take 2 new strands of yarn like this and pull them through like this. And now we're gonna start chaining. You can chain as much as you want depending on how long you want your strap to be. So you yarn over and you pull through like this, and it creates a little chain. I'm going to chain 25. So this was 1, so I'm gonna continue chaining like this. As I said, this is really up to you. I just like them to be pretty short because I don't like long straps, but if you like longer straps, you can chain more. Alright, so here I'm done chaining, and the next and last step is going to be to join it to the other side of your bag. So we're going to insert our hook in the stitch that we've put our stitch marker in. So here is the stitch my stitch marker is, so I'm going to put my hook in it. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all the loops on my hook, and this can be a little tricky, but pull through here like this, and then you can pull through some yarn and cut it. So now you have this little tail that's outside of your bag. You can simply put your hook in the same stitch and just pull the yarn inside of your bag. And you can take off the stitch marker, of course, because we're pretty much done. So now the bag is complete. We now have to go ahead and weave in all of these little ends. So what I do is I just bring the tails of yarn close together and make knots. So I'm gonna make a knot with these 2 blue tails, and I'm gonna do the same with the yellow ones. And now I'm gonna weave them in. I don't have a needle that's big enough, so what I do is I take a smaller hook size. So for example, this is a 6mm hook, and I just pass it underneath the stitches and I grab the yarn and hide it inside of the stitches like this. So now the extra yarn is hidden inside of the bag. So I pretty much do what I just done for every little tail. And when it comes to this side, because these two are from like the same strand, if I make a knot, it's just gonna come out of the bag. So what I do is I put my hook underneath one stitch, and I grab one of the two tails like this, and after that I make a knot. And now I go ahead and hide them inside of my bag. So once all of your tails are hidden, you're officially done with your bag. So this is what it looks like. I think it's so cute, and I love the mix of the two colors. I really love making these for summer because these colors are so pretty. I hope you enjoyed making this little t-shirt yarn bag. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.